I have desires for how I wanted them to buff Jekyll and Hyde, but looking back at his kit again, he has so many problems. It's not even funny, and they need to fix that before they do what I want. What I want is to be able to double pop his MP and Hyde, so that when you pop the MP, you fully heal, you get max HP, and you just keep getting more Buster, and you just keep ramping that up until he's like an unkillable monster. Now, with his recent buff, that goal actually becomes more desirable and crazy, because the first his skill buff actually would help and enable that kind of gameplay. I just don't know if they're gonna have to double buff his MP actually, or they can just retroactively change how it functions. I believe they did something similar to insta kill, but at the same time, they also have been buffing MPs that have insta kill to just move it to after damage. So we'll see in the future. Let's get started though. Base attack is it's low even for a 3-star berserker. But it's mostly because berserkers have just a lot higher base attack in general than other characters. But for him in particular, because most of the time you're gonna spend in berserker, this is a detriment. However, he also really does want higher HP. So I really don't want to be complaining when having higher HP for Hyde is necessary. As you can see, his stats change based on if he's in Assassin or Berserker form. But for the most part, it's just the standard, their standard class values. The only thing that's really different is the MP charge. It's at 1.05 for Assassin and then 1.02. That's such a small difference, you're not even going to notice it. The hit counts are dog shit. So that's why I just don't see any value in barely talking about these two. And in terms of bond point CEs, you only have lawful good. When they're calculating bond points, it always checks at the start of battle. It does not. It's not where if you end the battle in certain forms and you happen to have a CE for that form, you'll get extra bond points. No, it pretty much locks in your rewards at the start of the fight, and you get what you get. That's how I believe it works. It would be just very annoying to try to test this, although I think people have with Algo and it doesn't work. If people haven't tested that, I'd be honestly very surprised. Especially by now, since these CEs have been out for years and Alco has been out for a couple years too. All right, so first skill. It used to be only 15% for Jekyll and then 50% for Hyde, because 15 plus 35 is 50. But since they started buffing this character, they've been making it so that being in Jekyll is not such a detriment when you're popping skills. Because sometimes you don't want to pop. Sometimes you just don't want to go right into him. And that's based on how his buff stacking works, especially in Jekyll. I mean, when you're transforming into Hyde, like that instance, how much gauge you have actually does matter. So there are times where you would want to just jump right in, but there are also times where, okay, let me wait a couple turns so I can get my permanent buff working, because when he MPs, he fully heals. So if you need to panic pop, not panic pop because we're not playing Destiny or HSR, but if you feel okay, I need to actually get things. I need to stay alive. I'm gonna pop MP. Like enemy is about to MP and just wipe you. That might be a time to change. So this 15% stays up here, no matter what form you're gonna get this. As Jekyll, you provide party crit damage, star gen, and then you overcharge the party. As Hyde, you get a power mod against mana attribute, you get a guts, and buff removal. So if you want to keep Jekyll as a quasi support, or he's just gonna go off and die afterwards, technically you can. Like the crit damage is 30. Sergeant being 100% is actually very nice. And then the overcharge. Yeah, no, this I didn't realize the sergeant was 100%. That does have value as an esports unit. He just dips out, and then all your arts units, every hit they make is gonna gen stars. But yeah, like I was saying with Hyde, if the enemy is about to MP, then pop. No, you have right. Sorry, you have to time it right. Yeah, no, sorry, I was wrong about that. If they're a turn away from MPing, that is when you would pop Hyde's Hyde and transform into Hyde, and then you pop this skill. But you definitely should be trying to get to higher levels of overcharge before you pop. And that honestly is what this part is for. You have 3 turns basically to transform. And then you get overcharge and you get a bigger buff. Second skill. So, 10% chance to stun. As Jekyll, you got a 15 plus 15, so it'd be 25. As Hyde, I believe it'd be 145% chance. So they are going to buff this in the future easily. They've done it for all the other skills. They're going to do it for this one too. By the way, this is not 135% of this. You add into it. If that wasn't how buff success worked, like 15%, like if it worked like insta-kill, then this would be like 11.5%. That's how bad this would be if that's how the formula worked. But I'm like 99.9% sure this value is additive. All right, third skill. They did not change that much with this buff. When Jekyll uses it, 15% crit damage. When Hyde uses it, 50% crit damage. When they buffed it, they didn't change anything up here. They just made it so Jekyll could immediately go to his MP. So yeah, this fixed Jekyll's whole issue of it being very hard for him to get to his MP. He didn't really have the stars to crit on his cards. And granted, if you crit on one of these 3 cards, you are gonna get like, I don't want to say super good refund, but like you should be chunking along and getting at least 30 from the crits off this, because he does have very high base numbers up here. Like Summer Ibuki has what, a 0.36, 0.38. So this is pretty close to triple her gain. Not saying that he refunds better than Ibuki, God no. But that's a data point I just want to mention. All right, so passive skills: Sergeant when he's an assassin, Buster Up when he's a berserker. Makes sense. Append 2 becomes a necessity, and I would say Append 5. Try to get that up too, but he's a free 3-star, so you're gonna be able to get at least up to 9 for all of these, without issues. Interesting enough, though, he has this super weird. When he's a berserker, like he changes which class he gets this attack buff from. He is one of the only berserkers that actually does extra damage on this append. And it's because technically he's an assassin first. You can't just jump right into the berserker. what they could have done was when he changes into Berserker, they give him the normal Berserker like crit resistance. But nope, they let him do extra damage against riders, so Pog. I actually don't know if, because I believe Jekyll and Hyde come from Prototype. I'm not entirely clear on that. I don't think Jekyll and Hyde were unique to FGO though. I could have sworn they came from a different series before. But yeah. All right. I am now doing monthly $5 giveaways as a way to give back to my channel. I recently hit 500 subs and I want to keep giving back to the people that support me. All you have to do is comment on one of my videos during the month. Doesn't even have to be a video I make that month, and you are entered to win. 5 people can win every month with 1 win per person per month. Only 1 comment is counted as an entry every month. I will send you the prize in a way that works for both of us. Thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the video. So, MP. When Assassin pops MP, he shifts into Berserker. You get max HP based on the MP level. So MP1, 3,000, but most people are just going to have them at 5, so it's 6,000. So his max HP at level 70 goes to 15,600. And as you grail, this number just goes up. Last part, based on your overcharge, you get a bigger buster buff that lasts as long as he's on the field. Now, I think this is one of the reasons why he has this buff removal resistance. I'm like 90% sure, just because it says perform permanently, that does not mean it's unremovable. Those are 2 different things. So if someone was to buff strip Hyde, he's dead in the water. He lost his buster buff. All of his damage is pretty much gone. Yeah, and the guts is there to make sure he just doesn't die in that time frame. So the overcharge makes it so the base number is 50 for his MP now, and you'll just wait the turns to get back all the other stuff. I would bring cooldown reduction when you use him, whether it's Vitch or Atlas Mystic Code, just so you're able to pop first skill as Hyde as quickly as possible. You will need at least 4 turns, so it's 1 coin Skya and then Atlas to get it back up. Yeah, a pen 5 here would make it so you only need 1 turn of cooldown. So instead of needing Atlas, it could just be Kets. Yeah, Kets would help, and you just pop your skills 1, 3, and then 2, or just don't pop 2 because it's not going to do anything. Yeah. Yeah, also different stats based on the form, but the stats here are the ones that pretty much matter for any kind of quests, unless it's someone you're fighting. Bouncy, 15% buster while he's on the field. So, my personal opinion, I'm never going to be happy with this character until you're able to, again, pop this MP multiple times, therefore stacking up his buster up and stacking up the max HP. I get that that could get out of hand fairly quickly, but he's a 3-star and he's not going to be doing that much damage. Like, he can get his buster boosted up as much as he wants, but at the end of the day, his base attack is still super low. You're not going to be running Black Girl on him. You'll be running one of the Hakino CEs that's also like max 2400. That's like Buster Crit. You'd run that instead. But even still, that's still lower base attack than most DPSs. Sorry that I keep bouncing back and forth. between MP to up here. But even adding 2400 to this number, that's still lower than most 4-stars. He really could buff his Buster up as much as he wants, but it doesn't matter when it's still lower than it should be. Like, yes, you can grail him, and if you grail him to level 100, like, and then give him another CE, he's above the 4-stars, but now he's level 100, and you're trying to make him compete with 5-stars. But yeah, they don't feel comfortable doing that yet. We'll see. We'll see if the game gets harder that they could allow that. But yeah, that's Jekyll and Hyde. Sorry that I'm kind of all over the place with this video, but I really just have such mixed views on how he actually performs and how he should be performing. Especially because we have transformation servants now. You would think that they would roll it out and fix him a little quicker. But, all right, peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.